Chapter 551, Enter the city without paying, jump rope first. The restaurant has been found? The guest rooms are open? The food and wine are ready? Then, you said that meeting us was a coincidence? Hearing this, Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue looked at Bu Shuai with a strange look. Wait, did I say something wrong? Noticing that Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue were looking at him with strange eyes, Bu Shuai suddenly reacted, and then looked at Yi Feng with embarrassment and explained, "Young Master Yi, actually I." Before Bu Shuai finished speaking, Yi Feng interrupted directly, "Xiaobu, you performed well. My master and I are also a little hungry. Take us there quickly. It seems that young Master Yi is not angry. Otherwise, he would not help me out. Then I will perform well next time." Hearing Yi Feng's words, Bu Shuai was relieved, and then took Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue to the direction of the restaurant. In the guest room of the restaurant, knock. 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 When Yi Feng, Luo Qianxue and Bu Shuai were eating delicious food and tasting fine wine, a knock on the door suddenly sounded. "Come in. The door is not closed." After taking a sip of fine wine, Yi Feng also spoke directly. "Yi Er. Greetings, my lord." When Yi Er pushed the door open and walked in, he also knelt on one knee, then looked at Yi Feng respectfully and shouted. Yi Er? Is this guy Yi Yi's younger brother? If they are really from the same family, then this Yi Er is probably not a good person." Bu Shuai, who was standing aside, was inexplicably shocked when he knew the identity of the person who came. It was really that Yi left him with a huge psychological shadow, even if he was not a victim, but just a bystander. "Yi Er. I just walked around the prodigal city. Generally speaking, the management is pretty good. And I came to you this time, not only to see how you manage the prodigal city, but also to bring some fun things to you, the golden armored army that helps me guard the prodigal city." Yi Feng threw the fairy ring with 1,000,000 dragon whips to Yi Er, and then continued, "This fairy ring contains 1,000,000 dragon whips. Use these dragon whips to make some dragon whip ropes. When you have nothing to do, you can still jump rope to play." Yi Feng also briefly introduced the various ways to play the big rope. Jump alone. Jump with multiple people. Jump with multiple people in relay. Jump blindly. After hearing Yi Feng talk about dozens of strange ways to play, whether it was Yi Er, Luo Qianxue or Bu Shuai, they all showed extremely interested expressions after listening. After all, this kind of fancy rope skipping game was really unheard of and unseen by them. They were even too interested and had directly ignored the situation of the dragon whips. These 1,000,000 dragon whips are all from the bodies of dragon-like beasts with the 9th peak of the immortal tribulation realm, so there will be absolutely no problem with the quality. Even if they are played for hundreds or thousands of years, there will probably not be much wear and tear. Seeing that the three people showed extremely interested expressions, Yi Feng also showed a smile, and then continued to speak. 1,000,000? All from the bodies of dragon-like beasts, with the 9th peak of the immortal tribulation realm? Is this to destroy a family group? After learning the specific situation of this dragon whip, both Bu Shuai and Luo Qianxue showed a touch of shock in their eyes. It's so damn scary. It turns out that the golden legend not only left no bitter tea seeds, but if he gets angry, he will really attack your brothers. I still underestimated the horror of the golden legend. After recovering from his shock, Bu Shuai also muttered to himself in horror. "Young Master Yi. Do you want to hang this dragon whip rope on the 4 gates of each prodigal city? In this way, as long as someone wants to enter the prodigal city, there is no need to charge them fairy stones. Just let them complete the requirements I set in various rope skipping games, and they can enter the prodigal city for free. And those who have already entered the prodigal city don't have to pay a certain amount of fairy stones every day. They just need to complete various fancy rope skipping tasks, and they can continue to stay. In this way, the characteristics of our prodigal city can be truly reflected. At this time, Yi Er, who was thinking with his head down, suddenly raised his head, then looked at Yi Feng and expressed his thoughts. No fee to enter the city, jump a rope first? After waking up every day, the immortals in the town don't have to worry about paying fees. They just need to jump a rope to complete the task and they can continue to stay? Just free, just for fun? After hearing Yi Er's idea, Yi Feng also showed a touch of surprise. He really didn't expect that Yi Er could come up with such an interesting idea of spending money. Yi Er, your suggestion is very good. However, I think you, the Golden Armored Army, can also participate in this game. For example, in the daily skipping rope task, you, the Golden Armored Army, can compete with those immortals. If they win, they can stay, and if they lose, they will be expelled from the city. In this way, you can also enjoy more happiness. Otherwise, you, the Golden Armored Army, will play by yourself every day, which may be meaningless. After a moment of silence, Yi Feng also looked at Yi Er and expressed his thoughts. Damn! You are so good at playing. That's the dragon whip on the dragon beast of the 9th peak of the immortal tribulation realm. Have you ever thought about their feelings when you play like this? Hearing the exchange of ideas between Yi Feng and Yi Er, Bu Shuai on the side was really shocked. When it comes to prodigals, it has to be my prodigal apprentice. The dragon whip that others regard as a treasure has been turned into a national entertainment game by him. Moreover, once this rule is perfected, the prodigal city will really be lively. Luo Qianxue, who was standing aside, also looked at Yi Feng with stars in her eyes. After a moment. My lord. Yi Er will make the dragon whip rope now. Moreover, we will first conduct a test in this prodigal city. After all the problems are completely solved, we will use it in all prodigal cities. After the discussion, Yi Er also said to Yi Feng excitedly. Ding! Congratulations to the host for completing today's prodigal product. You will be rewarded with 1,000 prodigal points and 1 immortality pill. At this moment, the reward prompt sound of the system suddenly sounded in Yi Feng's mind. I haven't started using it yet, and the system has judged that I have succeeded in prodigal? It seems that the system is really relieved to hand over the prodigal product to the members of the reserve prodigal guard team. However, if I suddenly give Yi Er a new order now and don't defeat these 1 million dragon whips, will the system be directly confused? At this time, Yi Feng also thought secretly in his heart. System? Sloppy? Chapter 552 Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu were confused. The prodigal city belongs to the sect master? Forget it. Let's not scare the system, or it will start looking for a remedy again. After giving up this idea, Yi Feng also smiled and talked to himself. Prodigal city. I didn't expect that there would be such a town in this second-level battlefield. Xia Tianyu, as disciples of the prodigal family, do you think we should buy it? At this time, 3 miles east of the prodigal city, Luo Kai also said to Xia Tianyu beside him with a smile on his face. Luo Kai. Please remove the word should. We must buy this prodigal city. Otherwise, if others mistakenly think that this prodigal city is a vassal town of our prodigal sect, if something bad happens, it will affect the reputation of our prodigal sect. Hearing Luo Kai's words, Xia Tianyu said with a serious face. Yes, yes, yes. Old Xia, you are right. As disciples of the prodigal sect, we must take on the mission of protecting the prodigal sect. After hearing this, Luo Kai also responded with a smile, and at the same time, a touch of memories appeared on his face. Drink shit. I'm a lonely man, and I'm alone all day long. Your daughter founded a sect, which is such a big thing, but you didn't tell me earlier. I'm going to your daughter's sect to be an elder. It's time to have a home. Thinking back to what he said to Luo Wuming in Xingji sect, Luo Kai couldn't help but sigh, at that time, I really made the most correct decision in my life. And, I have to say it, the feeling of having a home is really damn good. Old Luo. What good things are you thinking about? Why are you grinning? At this time, seeing Luo Kai grinning alone, Xia Tianyu also asked curiously. Old Xia. I just recalled the scene when I decided to join Xinghuan sect. To be honest, I didn't expect that the decision at that time would become the most important turning point in my life. Hearing Xia Tianyu's question, Luo Kai also smiled and explained. So you were thinking about this? I felt the same way when I joined the Xinghuan sect. When I saw the sect master feeding thousands of precious 9-pattern Qingxian pills to the little yellow dog, I was really shocked by this crazy and wasteful behavior, but it was also because of this that I wanted to stay with the sect master. After all, a dog can live so well with the sect master, so I thought, if I can stay with the sect master, I won't be worse than a dog. At this point, Xia Tianyu suddenly revealed a bitter smile and continued, damn, I miscalculated. Although I live well, I really don't live as well as the little yellow dog. Ha ha ha. Hearing this, Luo Kai couldn't help laughing and said, Old Xia, we can't compare this. After all, the little yellow dog is cute and always makes the sect master happy. That's its ability. We don't have to think too much, otherwise we will be uncomfortable. A moment later. During the two people's casual chat, unknowingly, they had arrived at the east gate of the prodigal city. Golden armor guards? How could the golden armor guards around the master appear here? However, when the two noticed the two golden armor guards standing at the gate, they were both confused. Prodigal disciples? After sensing the aura of the prodigal seal on the two, one of the golden armor guards looked at them in surprise and asked. Sir. We are indeed prodigal disciples. After answering the other party, Luo Kai also looked at the other party with a puzzled look and asked, Sir, is this prodigal city under the control of the master? Yes. From the first to the 9th battlefield of the heavenly Tao, there are 2 prodigal cities in each battlefield of the heavenly Tao, all of which are under the control of our Lord. So, you can treat prodigal cities as your own home. Hearing Luo Kai's question, the golden armored guard also explained with a smile. So that's it. After learning about these situations, Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu also walked towards the city with a smile. Swish. Swish. However, just as the two were about to step into the city gate, 2 golden swords blocked them directly. Master Yi Er has an order. No matter who it is, if you want to enter Prodigal City, you must complete 50 blindfolded dragon rope jumps. When Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu looked at the golden armored guard with a confused look, the other party also explained directly. We go back to our own home, why do we have to jump the dragon rope? What are you playing? After hearing the explanation of the golden armored guard, the two couldn't believe their ears. Old Luo. This blindfolded dragon rope jumping sounds like nothing, but I'm afraid it was the idea of the sect master. If it was really the idea of the sect master, it might not be as simple as we thought. Why don't we just pay the money and go in? After recovering from his shock, Xia Tianyu also told Luo Kai his thoughts with his spiritual sense. Old Xia. You're right. As prodigal disciples, we naturally have to use money to open the way when encountering problems, otherwise, wouldn't it be a disgrace to the prodigal disciples? After hearing Xia Tianyu's thoughts, Luo Kai also directly agreed with the other party's ideas. Sir. We won't do that blindfolded dragon rope jumping. We pay, you name the amount. After getting Luo Kai's approval, Xia Tianyu looked at the golden armor guards with confidence and said. What's going on? Why do these 2 golden armor guards look at me with something wrong? Seeing that the 2 golden armor guards looked at him with a look of looking at a fool, Xia Tianyu also showed a bit of confusion. He felt that there was nothing wrong with his operation. Are you stupid? This is the city of prodigals, what else do you need? We don't charge money. If you want to enter the city, you must complete 50 blindfolded dragon rope jumps. Not only that, if you can jump 100 times, 200 times, 300 times, 500 times, 1000 times, etc., you can not only enter the city for free, but also go to the city lord's mansion to receive a large number of rare training resources and natural treasures. Soon, the golden armor guard looked at Xia Tianyu and explained. Huh? You still play like this? After hearing the explanation of the golden armor guard, Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu looked at each other and smiled bitterly. Only Yi Feng could come up with such a wasteful thing. What the two did not know was that although Yi Feng gave some ideas, these specific details were all thought up by Yi Er. Chapter 553 This is all my idea, how come it all became the credit of my lord? After a while. What? You don't need to hand in the fairy stone to enter the city, you just need to complete 50 blindfolded dragon rope jumps? And, if you complete a certain number of times, there will be extra rewards? When more than 10 people came here and learned about this situation, everyone's face showed an incredible look. They never thought that there would be such a good thing in the world. If you can get rare cultivation resources and natural treasures by completing a certain number of times, then why should they risk their lives to find opportunities in other places? Just jump the dragon rope like crazy here. It is no exaggeration to say that if the extra rewards can attract them, then they have already had the idea of grabbing the wool of the wasteful city. Too young. These people are still too young. Although the sect leader is a spendthrift, he will never let these people get those cultivation resources and natural treasures so easily. At this time, Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu, who were standing aside, looked at the excited people with a hint of amusement in their eyes. On the other side, Yi Er has contacted me just now and said that part of the dragon rope has been made and has been sent to the 4 major city gates. Next, let's go and experience it for ourselves. After all, only by practicing can we find the problem. Besides, I also want to see what interesting ideas Yi Er has come up with. At this time, Yi Feng, who left the prodigal city from the north gate and walked towards the east gate, also smiled and said to Luo Qianxue and Bu Shuai beside him. I didn't expect that I still underestimated the way of prodigal. When we were in the restaurant, Yi Xiao only said some general ideas, but how to apply them in practice requires your own brain. This time, let me see how Yi Er does it. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Bu Shuai on the side also thought to himself that he had regarded this practice as a learning opportunity. After a moment. Disciple. Do those two look like Elder Luo and Elder Xia? When Yi Feng and the others arrived at the East City Gate, Luo Qianxue pointed at Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu not far away and asked. Huh. It's really them. I didn't expect to meet them here. Hearing this, Yi Feng also looked in the direction pointed by Luo Qianxue. When he found out that it was Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu, a look of surprise appeared on his face. Master. Master Yi. When Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu saw Yi Feng coming from a distance, they were also happy. Just when they were about to call out the master, they noticed Bu Shuai beside Yi Feng, and then immediately changed to Master Yi. Master Luo. Master Xia. Why are you here? After walking over, Yi Feng also looked at the two and asked. Master Yi. We are here to lose our family in the Tiandao battlefield. And we can also find some suitable disciples by the way. Hearing Yi Feng's question, Xia Tianyu also hurriedly explained. Everyone listen up. The next dragon rope jump, you can choose to jump alone or with multiple people. But whether it is one person or multiple people, if you want to enter the city, you must complete 50 blindfolded dragon rope jumps at one time. At this time, the voice of a golden armored guard suddenly sounded and was clearly heard by everyone. Sir, is there any difference between a single person jumping and a group jumping? Soon, a man stepped forward and raised the question in his mind. Of course there is a difference. For example, if you complete blindfolded dragon rope jumping 100 times, you can get an extra cultivation resource or natural treasure. If 2 people complete it 100 times together, you can each get 2 cultivation resources or natural treasures. If 3 people complete it together, they can each get 3 cultivation resources or natural treasures, and so on. Hearing the man's question, the golden armor guard also explained calmly. What? Hearing this, not only the man who asked the question was shocked, but even the people around were shocked by the news. In short, if multiple people complete it, they can get the same multiple of the number of people as the reward. Oh my God! Young Master Yi, what's going on? Not only can you enter the city for free, but you can also get extra rewards after completing a certain number of blindfolded dragon rope jumping? At this time, Bu Shuai also looked at Yi Feng with shock and asked. Bu Shuai, we are the prodigal sons, isn't this a good way to motivate us? Are you feeling bad? Hearing Bu Shuai's words, Yi Feng looked at him and asked back. Ah. Feeling bad? No, why would I feel bad? I'm just playing for fun. Hearing Yi Feng's question, Bu Shuai was stunned at first, and then he hurriedly explained with a smile. Young Master Yi. It has to be you. You are really good at playing, this is the real prodigal city. At this time, Luo Kai on the side flattered Yi Feng. Young Master Yi. Lao Luo and I have been to several towns, but compared to our prodigal city, those towns are nothing. They only know how to collect money. And prodigal city is what you did, it is simply the will of the people. Even if they get the reward by their own ability, they will still say good things to you, young Master Yi. To put it bluntly, if any force dares to seize the management rights of prodigal city, we don't even need to take action ourselves. These immortal Taoists who have received the favor can drown the enemy with a mouthful of spit. Moreover, as time goes by, I don't know how many immortal Taoists will regard prodigal city as their home. When the cohesion formed imperceptibly breaks out, it will definitely shock all the forces in the upper realm. Xia Tianyu thought more deeply at this time, and the flattery made people feel more natural and comfortable. Fuck. Is there such a deep meaning? If it weren't for this old Xia saying it, I wouldn't have thought of this. Thinking of the countless immortals who obtained a large amount of cultivation resources and natural treasures in the prodigal city to constantly make themselves stronger, and then as time goes by, they slowly regard the prodigal city as their home. When countless grown-up immortals are spread all over the upper world, I am afraid that with Yi Feng's order, the entire upper world will tremble. Hiss. Thinking of that scene, Bu Shuai couldn't help but take a breath. Just now, he only felt that this kind of reward was simply a waste of money, but now that he figured it out, he was really scared by this terrifying layout. At this moment, his understanding of the prodigal was refreshed again. What are you doing? What are these 2 prodigal disciples doing there? This is all my idea. How can it all be the credit of my master? At this time, Yi Er, who had just rushed over, was stunned after hearing what Luo Kai and Xia Tianyu said to Yi Feng. Chapter 554 Yi Er, I have to say it, this is a bit too much, Yi Er. The ideas you came up with are really good. However, completing 50 blindfolded dragon rope jumps is an extremely simple task for any immortal. We are losers, but we can't let them get those rewards so easily. At this time, Yi Feng also saw Yi Er, coming from not far away, and then looked at him and asked. My lord. I have considered all these. The original purpose of you bringing these dragon whips is to entertain us, so whether it is here at the city gate or inside the city, whether everyone can complete it depends on the mood of our golden armor army. Simply put, whoever we want to pass, can pass, and whoever we want to complete as many times as we want can complete it. It can be said that everything is under our control. Hearing Yi Feng's question, Yi Er also hurriedly explained. Boom. At this moment, dozens of terrifying dragon auras suddenly spread. Fuck. Am I dazzled? The dragon rope in the hands of the golden armored guard is made of dozens of dragon whips that exude terrifying dragon power. Now I finally understand the meaning of the name of the prodigal city. Using such top-level dragon whips to make dragon ropes for fun, this is really a waste. What you see is a waste. But what I see is an unimaginable reward. They can even use such top-level dragon whips to waste, so can the rewards they give be ordinary cultivation resources or natural treasures? When everyone found out that the dragon rope in the hands of the golden armor guard was made of top-grade dragon whip, they all showed extremely shocked expressions. Blindfolded jumping dragon rope. The challenger needs to cover his eyes with black satin. Then during the challenge, the challenger must not use his spiritual sense or the immortal power in his body. Everyone has only 2 chances to challenge every day. If both times fail, you need to wait until the next day to continue the challenge. At this time, the golden armor guard looked at everyone and explained some rules again. I'll go first. When the golden armor guard finished speaking, Bu Shuai shouted excitedly, then looked at Yi Feng and said, "Young Master Yi, as you said, only by practicing can you find the problem, so I'll make a sample first." After speaking, Bu Shuai quickly ran towards the golden armor guard, then took the black satin handed over by the other party and covered his eyes. Buzz buzz buzz. Soon, the sound of the dragon rope breaking through the air came into the ears of Bu Shuai, who was ready to cut in at any time. What? How fast is it swinging? It can actually make such a strong sound of breaking through the air. Stunned. At this time, Bu Shuai, who was wearing black satin, was completely stunned. The rope was swinging so fast. If he only relied on his ears, he couldn't find the right entry point. Fuck. Yeah, should I say it? This is a bit too much. Without using spiritual consciousness and immortal power, at such a fast speed, no one can complete it 50 times, let alone 50 times, even once is enough. At the same time, seeing the dragon rope swung by the 2 golden armored guards so fast that even the afterimages could hardly be seen, Yi Feng also showed a touch of shock and looked at Yi Er. My lord. Didn't I just say that it all depends on the mood of the golden armored guards? Maybe the speed will be faster for this challenger, but the next challenger may be very slow. Hearing Yi Feng's words, Yi Er also smiled and explained. Black curtain. When Luo Qianxue, Luo Kai, and Xia Tianyu heard this, these 2 words instantly appeared in their minds. Because this method of controlling the game is similar to the black curtain that Yi Feng made when playing games in the lower world. In short, you can work hard in the game, anyway, I have the final say on the results, regardless of whether you work hard or not. Damn. If you play like this, you can't even complete it once, let alone 50 times. Yeah. If you do this, no one can enter the city. On the other side, the crowd watching saw Bu Shuai forcefully cut into the dragon rope and failed directly, and they all complained quietly, but no one left, and everyone was ready to continue watching. Do you want to continue the challenge? Looking at the failed Bu Shuai, the golden armor guard also asked directly. Sir. I want to take a break first, and then challenge again later. Hearing this, Bu Shuai also expressed his thoughts. He wanted to watch other people's challenges first, then find the problem, and then think about how to complete it. I'll do it. At this time, a sturdy old man walked over and took the black silk from Bu Shuai's hand. No way? Was it this speed just now? When Bu Shuai saw the 2 golden armored guards swinging the dragon rope at an extremely slow speed, he was stunned and thought in his heart, that's not how they treated me just now. This is a difference in treatment? At this moment, Bu Shuai finally understood what Yi Er said before. Whether this can be completed and how many times it can be completed really depends on the mood of the golden armored guards swinging the dragon rope. Young Master Yi. I just asked the two golden armored guards with my spiritual sense. They are ready to make this old man fail at the 50th time. At this time, Yi Er suddenly looked at Yi Feng and said this. Stuck at the 50th time and let others fail? Are you playing so crazy? Bu Shuai, Luo Qianxue, Luo Kai, and Xia Tianyu all looked at Yi Er with an expression of disbelief after hearing this. Let's leave this state of mind training to the next person. Tell the two golden armored guards to let this old man complete it 300 times, and then give him a reward in front of these people. As for how they want to play later, it all depends on their mood. At this time, Yi Feng gave an order to Yi Er. Ding. Release a random task. Please purchase the management rights of 90 towns within half a month, and 10 towns in each battlefield of the Heavenly Tao. If the task is successful, a large number of prodigal points will be awarded, and there is a high probability of rewarding the immortal pill, and there is a high probability of triggering special rewards. If the task fails, a large number of prodigal points will be awarded, and there is a very low probability of rewarding the immortal pill. When Yi Feng and others returned to the prodigal city, the prompt sound of the system releasing the task suddenly rang in Yi Feng's mind. Is this the random task triggered by the characteristics of the prodigal city? After hearing the random task released by the system, Yi Feng also showed a touch of surprise, and then muttered to himself, it seems that I have to leave the Tiandao battlefield temporarily, and then find some top forces or overlord-level forces to buy some town management rights. Disciple. Will you still watch the welfare tonight? After returning to the restaurant, Luo Qianxue blushed and asked Yi Feng before returning to her room. Chapter 555 Yi Xiao, is this a serious purchase? Hey. The prodigal can't compare to Yi Xiao. I can't compare to Yi Xiao in picking up girls. Why is Yi Xiao so good? Looking at Yi Feng and Luo Qianxue who left together, Bu Shuai's eyes also showed a touch of envy. The next morning. After all, the quill took it all. Yi Feng, who had just woken up from his dream, quietly put away the quilt covered with the fruits of his battle. Dong. 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 At this moment, a knock on the door suddenly sounded, and then Bu Shuai walked into Yi Feng's guest room from outside. Young Master Yi. Lord Luo is gone. She said that there were some things in the Holy Land that she needed to go back to deal with, so she left first, and then let me tell you. After entering the guest room, Bu Shuai also explained the situation to Yi Feng. Master left, went back to the Holy Land to deal with things? Then why didn't Master tell me in person, is he so anxious? After hearing this, Yi Feng also looked at Bu Shuai with a puzzled look and asked. Young Master Yi. Lord Luo said he was afraid of disturbing your rest, so he asked me to tell you. Bu Shuai hurriedly explained when he heard Yi Feng's question, and thought to himself, what a considerate Taoist partner. If Feng Xiaoxiao could be half as gentle as Lord Luo, I would burn incense and pray to Buddha, thanking God for all his ancestors. Is that so? In that case, let's leave the Tiandao battlefield today. I plan to buy some town management rights in the Tiandao battlefield from some top forces or overlord-level forces. Do you have any good suggestions? After learning the reason, Yi Feng also looked at Bu Shuai and asked. Young Master Yi, is this buying you mentioned serious? After hearing what Yi Feng said, Bu Shuai pondered for a moment and asked an extremely critical question. Buy? Is it serious? Is there anything not serious about this thing? Yi Feng was also shocked when he heard such a strange question asked by Bu Shuai, but he quickly reacted and then asked the system directly, System, is this buying required in the task serious? Ding. Host, this buying in the random task can be serious or not, depending on the host's mood. After waiting for nearly a minute, the voice of the system sounded in Yi Feng's mind. No way. Such a simple question actually confused the system? Yifeng was surprised to find that the system took so long to respond. Why is Yishao silent? Is this a serious purchase? If it is serious, I will introduce some top forces or overlord forces that have a good relationship with Shura Palace. If it is not serious, then I will introduce some forces that have a bad relationship with Shura Palace. Seeing that Yifeng did not respond for a long time, Bu Shuai also thought about this question in his heart. Bu Shuai. This purchase can be serious or not. So, I'll leave the decision to you. Decide whether this purchase is serious or not through the forces you recommend. After getting the response from the system, Yifeng also looked at Bu Shuai and told him his decision. Stare. Hearing Yifeng's words, Bu Shuai's eyes suddenly lit up, and then he hurriedly said, Young Master Yi, let's make this purchase not serious to the end. I'll go discuss it with my father, and then select a few from the many hostile forces in Shura Palace. After speaking, Bu Shuai walked aside and took out the sound transmission stone to contact his father Butaixing. This still needs to be discussed? And select a few from the many hostile forces? How many hostile forces are there in your Shura Palace? Hearing Bu Shuai's words, Yifeng also showed a touch of surprise. He didn't expect that Shura Palace, as a dominant force, would have so many hostile forces. On the other side, Shura Palace, the main hall. This bastard boy actually dared to contact me. When Butaixing found that the sound transmission stone had reacted, he also cursed angrily, and then angrily released his spiritual sense to activate the sound transmission stone. Bu Shuai. You little bastard. Are you still a human being? You emptied all the treasures in my private treasury. If you still have a little conscience, you can leave me 1 or 2 treasures. After activating the sound transmission stone, Butaixing was the first to curse. Father. The 3 ancient top fairy flowers really exist. Moreover, I have 10,000 of each in my hand. I originally wanted to secretly put these 30,000 divine flowers back to your private treasury and give you a surprise. I didn't expect you to have discovered it. If you feel that the value of these 30,000 divine flowers is not worth the junks in your private treasury, then I will send those junks back to you. Soon, Bu Shuai's voice sounded in Butaixing's mind. The 3 legendary ancient top fairy flowers, the white flame poison flower, the mysterious ice ghost flower and the demon thunder flower, actually exist? Moreover, Bu Shuai, that stinky boy, actually has 10,000 of each in his hand. Most importantly, he actually wants to give me a surprise? Hearing what Bu Shuai said, Butaixing couldn't believe his ears. He thought to himself, is this still the unreliable son I have known for many years? Father. Let's talk about this when I get back. Next, I have something very important to discuss with you. That is, what are the most threatening hostile forces in our Shura Palace? No matter whether it is a top force or a hegemonic force, just tell me. This time I must kill them hard. When Butaixing was still shocked by Bu Shuai's huge change, Bu Shuai's voice rang out in his mind again. What's the situation? My unreliable son has only been with that good brother for a few days, and now he is so awesome? I dare not easily turn against those hegemonic forces that can threaten Shura Palace, but now he actually said that he wants to go over and kill them hard? Hearing Bu Shuai's words, Butaixing was so shocked that goosebumps all over his body. This news is really more explosive than the previous news. Son. Are you so powerful now? After recovering from his shock, Butaixing asked Bu Shuai aloud with some disbelief. Fierce? Father, is this fierce? Compared to Master Yi, I am nothing. Thinking of how Yifeng randomly found 1,000,000 golden legend members to suppress many first-class forces, top forces, and overlord forces, and then forced those big guys to play the rock-paper-scissors game for a whole night, Bu Shuai also expressed his true thoughts with a face full of fear. Chapter 556 Hey! A little. But not much. Isn't this fierce? That's a overlord force, not a second-rate force that's everywhere. Hearing Bu Shuai's answer, Bu Taixing also revealed a touch of shock. At this moment, he suddenly felt that he seemed to be a little behind the times. Huh. After taking a deep breath, Bu Taixing did not say anything more, but directly told Bu Shuai about some of the current overlord-level hostile forces in Shura Palace. As for the situation about young Master Yi, he wanted to wait for Bu Shuai to come back and learn more about it. Young Master Yi. We currently have 3 difficult overlord-level forces in Shura Palace. I wonder if this number is enough? If not, I'll let my father think about it and we can get more together. When Bu Shuai returned to Yifeng, he also told this situation. 3 overlord-level forces? Then we need to buy the management rights of 30 towns from each of these 3 overlord-level forces, which should be enough. Thinking of this, Yifeng nodded and said, just these 3 overlord-level forces, no need to get more. Got it, Master Yi. Then I'll go downstairs and ask the waiter to prepare breakfast. After hearing what Yifeng said, Bu Shuai also left the guest room and walked directly to the first-floor lobby of the restaurant. Although it's not a proper purchase, we still have to find a way to trigger the reward for wasted behavior. It seems that I have to show off my skills at that time. Thinking of this, Yifeng's mouth also showed a smile, and then he checked the wasteful products refreshed today. Today's prodigal product, Tianqiu Tree *1000. Tianqiu Tree, an extremely special fairy tree in the battlefield of the heavenly Tao in the upper realm. It bears a Tianqiu fruit every 1,000 years. Whether it is a mortal, a fairy or a fairy beast, taking a Tianqiu fruit can extend the lifespan by 10 years. What's going on? Is the prodigal product refreshed today so powerful? When Yifeng checked the situation of the prodigal product refreshed today, a look of surprise appeared on his face. After all, even if the immortals have a long lifespan, and even as their cultivation continues to improve, their lifespan can continue to improve, but for some immortals or fairy beasts who are stuck in a certain realm when their deadline is approaching, this Tianqiu fruit is definitely the treasure they need most, nothing else. System. Are there any Tianqiu fruits on the refreshed 1,000 Tianqiu trees? After recovering from his shock, Yifeng also asked the system directly. Ding. Remind the host, each Tianqiu tree has 100 Tianqiu fruits. Only when both the Tianqiu fruits and the Tianqiu trees are destroyed can it be considered a successful destruction. As Yifeng finished speaking, the system's voice soon rang out in his mind. There are 100 Tianqiu fruits on a Tianqiu tree, so 1,000 Tianqiu trees means 100,000 Tianqiu fruits. Damn. Only 100,000. Who can afford this? Thinking of only 100,000 Tianqiu fruits, Yifeng couldn't help but complain. He didn't think that if all these 100,000 Tianqiu fruits were given to one person, it would directly increase a person's lifespan by 1 million years. That would definitely be an old monster. A moment later. Bu Shuai. Have you heard of Tianqiu fruit and Tianqiu tree? In the corner of the lobby on the first floor, Yifeng, who was eating breakfast, looked at Bu Shuai and asked, casually. Peng. Hearing about Tianqiu fruit and Tianqiu tree, Bu Shuai shuddered all over, and the wine glass in his hand fell directly to the ground and broke into pieces. Gulp. Swallowing his saliva, Bu Shuai looked at Yifeng with a trembling voice and asked, Young Master Yi, I have indeed heard of Tianqiu fruit and Tianqiu tree. Do you have any? Hey. A little. But not much. Hearing Bu Shuai's words, Yifeng sighed and then responded. Huh. After hearing this, Bu Shuai also let out a long sigh and thought to himself, looking at Yi Xiao's condition, I'm afraid he really doesn't have much in his hands, so I'm relieved. Otherwise, if he has a lot of Tianqiu fruits and wants to use them to squander his family, I really can't stand it. From beginning to end, Bu Shuai's focus was only on the Tianqiu fruits. He never thought that Yi Feng would have a tianqiu tree in his hands, because the tianqiu tree is extremely special. It will be protected by the will of the heavenly Tao in the Tiandao battlefield. No one can hurt or dig up the tianqiu tree. Anyone who dares to hurt or dig up the tianqiu tree will attract the heavenly Tao thunder tribulation and die on the spot. That's right. After we leave the Tiandao battlefield, which overlord level force should we go to first? At this time, Yi Feng also looked at Bushuai and asked. Yi Xiao. Let's go to Shangue Palace first. Hearing Yi Feng's question, Bushuai thought about it and also said the name of a overlord level force. Hey! What do you two want to do in my Black Turtle Palace? Just then, a young man who had just walked down from the upstairs heard Bushuai mention his palace gate, and walked to the table of the two with curiosity, and then asked arrogantly. Are you from the Black Turtle Palace? Hearing the young man's words, Yi Feng also looked at the other party with surprise and asked. Haha. The young man smiled playfully, then looked at the two and said directly, Yes, I am Qing Tianqing, one of the 5 core disciples of the Black Turtle Palace. Huh? You? One of the 5 core disciples of the Black Turtle Palace? Hearing Qing Tianqing's words, Yi Feng's eyes revealed a hint of disdain. After all, the opponent didn't have any special secret treasures to suppress his strength, and he really looked down on the core disciples of the earthly immortal realm. Dare to despise the core disciples of my Shangue Palace, you deserve to die. At this moment, an old man who followed noticed Yi Feng's contempt for Qing Tianqing, and immediately became angry. He directly chopped Yi Feng with a long sword, and there was no room for holding back. He wanted to kill Yi Feng directly. Wang Lao. Stop it. This is in the town, not outside the town. Killing people will attract the heavenly thunder tribulation. So, if you want to kill them, you have to catch them outside the city and kill them. After Qing Tianqing on the side discovered this situation, he also shouted anxiously. Destruction God. At this time, Yi Feng, who was sitting opposite, also had a flash of murderous intent in his eyes. When he was about to use the eyes of destruction to directly wipe out the opponent, a series of golden lights suddenly appeared, ignoring the roof and walls of the restaurant, and all appeared in front of Yi Feng at this moment. Fuck. What's going on? I just want to teach this ant a lesson. Why are the guards of this prodigal city coming here? Seeing dozens of golden swords covering him, Wang Lao was completely shocked at the moment. Chapter 557 As long as you dare to keep giving, I dare to keep eating. My lord. What should we do with these two people? Just when old Wang was panicking, dozens of golden armored guards shouted to Yi Feng respectfully. My lord? These powerful guards actually called this ant my lord? Hearing this, my lord, old Wang was stunned. System. Use the opportunity to spy on the secrets of heaven once, and check whether these two idiots are from the Black Turtle Palace. Hearing the question of the golden armored guards, Yi Feng also asked the system directly. Ding. Consume the opportunity to spy on the secrets of heaven once. The two are indeed from the Black Turtle Palace. Qing Tianqing is a core disciple who has just joined the Black Turtle Palace not long ago. Wang Dikun is one of the 10 elders of the Black Turtle Palace, and is also Qing Tianqing's protector. As Yi Feng's voice fell, the voice of the system rang in his mind. They are actually from the Black Turtle Palace. And their identities are real, no wonder they are so arrogant. After confirming the identities of the two, Yi Feng was ready to let the golden armor guards kill them directly. Wait a minute. Since they are both going to die, why not let them eat the 100,000 tianqiu fruits before they die? Giving the tianqiu fruits that increase lifespan to 2 dying people, there is nothing wrong with this waste of money. Thinking of this, Yi Feng also looked at Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun with a smile on his face. When Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun, who were terrified, noticed Yi Feng's weird smile, they didn't know why they always felt as if something bad was going to happen to them. You two are going to die for sure. But now I give you two choices. First, do me a favor, and I can give you a quick death later. Second, don't do me a favor, but I will slowly torture you to death. At this time, Yifeng also looked at the two people and said two choices that must die. You want to kill us. And then you want us to do you a favor? Are you still a human being? Hearing Yifeng's two choices that must die, Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun both looked at Yifeng with an unbelievable look. The first one. After a few seconds of silence, the two made their choices together. Help? Is Master Yi going to squander his fortune again? However, what can I do to help two people who are about to die? When Bushuai thought of this, a flash of light suddenly flashed through his mind, and then his eyes widened instantly, and he said in shock, Is Master Yi going to give the Tianqiu fruit in his hand to these two dying people? Very good. Since you have made your choice, let's hurry up and get started. The little favor I'm asking you to do is actually very simple, just help me eat something. Yifeng took out the Tianqiu fruits one by one from the system space. Tianqiu fruits. When Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun saw that what Yifeng took out was actually Tianqiu fruits, they all exclaimed with their eyes wide open. They never thought that the thing Yifeng wanted them to help eat was actually the extremely precious Tianqiu fruits. After recovering from their shock, both of them looked at Yifeng with an unbelievable look, as if to say, Are you crazy? Such a precious Tianqiu fruit, you are actually going to give it to us, two people who are about to die. Why are you looking at me? Hurry up and eat. As the saying goes, the brave will die of overeating, and the timid will die of starvation. Even if you are going to die, I have to let you eat enough, before you go on the road. Seeing that the two were looking at him with an unbelievable look, Yifeng also smiled and explained. Eat. I've lived for so long, let alone eating it, I've never even seen the real Tianqiu fruit. Now that I have such a chance before I die, why not eat it? Not only do I want to eat it, I want to eat it to death. Thinking of this, Wang Dikun's eyes flashed with a ruthless look, and he looked directly at Yifeng and shouted, You let us eat this, so I'll keep my words here, as long as you dare to keep giving it, I dare to keep eating it, either eat up all the Tianqiu fruit in your hand first, or I'll eat myself to death. And me? I'll eat it to death too, if you have the guts, let me die of it. Anyway, they are all going to die. Qing Tianqing also wants to be arrogant again at the last moment of his life. Fuck. These two idiots are ruthless people. Hearing what the two said, Yifeng was completely excited. He was not afraid that the other party would eat more, but that the other party would eat less. A moment later. What's going on? This is a Tianqiu fruit that can only be produced once every 1,000 years. So you just took out 10,000 of them? Are you kidding? Do you really think these are cabbages that are sold everywhere? Looking at the 5,000 Tianqiu fruits piled up in front of each of them, Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun were stunned. These 5,000 fist-sized Tianqiu fruits, if they can't use the immortal power in their bodies to quickly digest them, they will really be stuffed to death. 10,000. There are 10,000 Tianqiu fruits in Yi Xiao's hand. Is this what he meant by a little and, but not much? Seeing Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun start to eat the Tianqiu fruits with despair on their faces, Bushuai felt like he was going crazy. That's 10,000 Tianqiu fruits, which can increase the lifespan of immortals or immortal beasts by 100,000 years. Now, they are all given to two people who are about to die. How can this be called a waste? This is simply a crazy waste. Young Master Yi. We are spendthrifts. It's okay to give precious Tianqiu fruits that can increase lifespan to two dying people. But isn't it too much for them to eat? After watching the two eat for a while, Bushuai felt that his heart was about to break, and then he finally couldn't help but look at Yifeng and persuade him. Too many? Not many, I still have 90,000 in my hand. To be honest, I'm worried that the two of them will die of starvation if they can't even finish the 10,000 tianqiu fruits. Hearing Bu Shuai's persuasion, Yi Feng said with a worried look on his face. You still have 90,000 in your hand? You call 100,000 tianqiu fruits a little, but not much? After learning that Yi Feng still had 90,000 tianqiu fruits in his hand, Bu Shuai gave up the idea of continuing to persuade him. He then looked at Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun, who were eating tianqiu fruits, and muttered to himself, Young Master Yi is the ceiling of the spendthrift god. It's ridiculous that you two little trash want to eat young Master Yi out of poverty. Chapter 558 People sit at the palace gate, and the pot comes from the sky? Old Wang. Why did you pretend just now? Isn't it good to just eat some of this extremely precious tianqiu fruit and then wait for death comfortably? At this time, Qing Tianqing, who was eating the tianqiu fruit, also complained to Wang Dikun beside him with his spiritual sense. Fuck. Qing Tianqing, you still have the nerve to say me? Did I ask you to pretend with me? Also, come down to eat, why do you provoke the other party for no reason? If you hadn't provoked the other party, would we have ended up like this? Hearing Qing Tianqing's complaints, Wang Dikun finally couldn't suppress the anger in his heart, and directly cursed Qing Tianqing. What? You blame me? I just said hello to him. If you hadn't come up to chop him, would things have developed like this? Hearing Wang Dikun's curse, Qing Tianqing was also angry and cursed back. Buzz. 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 At this moment, the sound transmission stone in Qing Tianqing's arms suddenly responded. Sir. Yes, it's our palace master. After checking the sound transmission stone, Qing Tianqing looked at Yi Feng cautiously and said. Take it. You can even tell your palace master all the situations here. By the way, tell him a message for me, and tell him that I will go to him soon. After hearing Qing Tianqing's words, Yi Feng also said with a smile on his face. Xiangui Palace, Main Hall. What's going on? What is Qing Tianqing doing? He hasn't responded for such a long time. After finding that the sound transmission stone had not responded for a long time, the master of Xiangui Palace, Pan Yang, frowned and muttered to himself. At this moment, Pan Yang found that the sound transmission stone finally responded, and he was the first to ask, Qing Tianqing, what are you doing? It took you so long to activate the sound transmission stone? Palace Master. You may not believe it. Elder Wang and I are busy eating the tianqiu fruit. That's right, it's the tianqiu fruit that can increase lifespan, and we are almost vomiting. Soon, Qing Tianqing's voice rang out from Pan Yang's mind. Busy eating the tianqiu fruit? And you are almost vomiting? You think the tianqiu fruit is a garbage fairy fruit that is everywhere on the street. Not only can you eat it, but you can also eat it to the point of vomiting? Hearing Qing Tianqing's words, Pan Yang once suspected that there was something wrong with his ears. If it wasn't his ears, then it must be the other party's brain that had a problem. Qing Tianqing. Did you become stupid after training in the second level of the Heavenly Dao battlefield? After recovering from his shock, Pan Yang asked directly. Palace Master. Everything I said is true. Because Elder Wang and I accidentally offended a young master, now the other party wants to use tens of thousands of tianqiu fruits to starve Elder Wang and me to death. That's right. He also asked me to tell you a message, saying that he will come to you soon. After hearing what Pan Yang said, Qing Tianqing also directly told him the situation on his side. The other party wants to use the extremely rare and special natural treasure of tianqiu fruit to starve you to death? And then they want to come to me? Hearing what Qing Tianqing said, Pan Yang was completely stunned. In fact, the situation described by Qing Tianqing was a bit beyond his cognition. After all, a normal person, even if he really has a lot of tianqiu fruit in his hand, can't give it to two people who are about to die. Isn't that a waste of money? Wait. Did you offend the terrifying young master who could easily take out tens of thousands of tianqiu fruits? And you brought his anger to the palace? At this time, Pan Yang suddenly reacted and then cursed, Qing Tianqing, are you still a human being? You have just joined the palace for less than 3 months, and you have provoked such a terrifying enemy to the palace? Palace master. This is all Elder Wang's fault, it has nothing to do with me. However, it's useless to say anything now. Elder Wang and I are definitely dead anyway. At this point, Qing Tianqing suddenly continued in a very serious tone, Palace Master, the two of us will go downstairs to wait for you first. While the other party hasn't come to find you yet, hurry up and eat and drink. After saying that, Qing Tianqing directly cut off the sound transmission stone, and then continued to eat the piles of tianqiu fruit in front of him. You guys go downstairs to wait for me first? And you want me to eat and drink now? Hearing Qing Tianqing's subsequent advice, Pan Yang felt that his whole body was about to split apart, and his heart collapsed and thought, people sit at the palace gate, and the pot comes from the sky? Send an order. Immediately open the palace gate formation and increase the power of the palace gate formation to the extreme. Soon, when Pan Yang reacted, he hurriedly shouted to the disciples outside the hall, but his eyes still showed a look of panic. Sir, I really can't eat anymore. How about giving us a quick death? After Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun each ate more than 1,000 tianqiu fruits, they looked at Yi Feng with a painful expression. Ah. I overestimated you. Seeing that the two really couldn't eat anymore, Yi Feng also showed a hint of disappointment, and then made a gesture of wiping his neck to the golden armor guard beside him. Although you are dead. But your death is not in vain. Looking at the entire upper realm, which lucky person can eat so many extremely precious tianqiu fruits before dying? Looking at Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun who fell to the ground and had no breath, Bu Shuai on the side also thought to himself, you two still owe Yi Xiao a thank you. Bu Shuai. Do you think that with the remaining 97,000 tianqiu fruits, can we exchange for the management rights of 30 towns from the hands of Xiangui Palace? At this time, Yi Feng also looked at Bu Shuai with a serious face and asked. Exchange 97,000 tianqiu fruits for the management rights of 30 towns? That can definitely be exchanged. It can even be said that if this transaction can be successful, the other party will simply make a lot of money. Hearing Yi Feng's inquiry, Bu Shuai also expressed his thoughts with a shocked expression. Then, Bu Shuai looked at Yi Feng and said, Young Master Yi, if you really want to do this, it will be too cheap for them. It would be better to let us, Shura Palace, complete the deal with you. But after the deal is completed, I will let them use these tianqiu fruits to have a fruit fight. Moreover, all the broken tianqiu fruits must be fed to some edible garbage, fairy beasts. Under such circumstances, are you sure that Shura Palace wants to take this deal? Hearing Bu Shuai's proposal, Yi Feng looked at the other party with a smile and asked back. Fruit fight? Feed edible garbage fairy beasts? This is going to kill the Black Turtle Palace. After hearing Yi Feng's idea, Bu Shuai also showed a hint of excitement, and then hurriedly said, Young Master Yi, how can we, the Shura Palace, take advantage of others? Let's give this good thing to the Black Turtle Palace. Chapter 559 I have to let my father bear this torture with me. First, bite the management rights of their 30 towns. Then destroy the tianqiu fruit that they should have gotten. At that time, they will definitely go crazy. If my father knew, I'm afraid he would laugh in his sleep. Thinking of this, Bu Shuai's face also showed a trace of relief, and he thought to himself, fortunately, I followed Yi Xiao. If the sons of the leaders of those hostile forces followed Yi Xiao, then our Shura Palace would be crazy. Yi Xiao. Only you don't have a tianqiu tree. Otherwise, cut down the tianqiu tree, and then use the burning tianqiu tree to roast the garbage fairy beasts that ate the tianqiu fruit. Maybe the taste will be more delicious. At this time, Bu Shuai suddenly thought of the edible garbage fairy beasts that ate the tianqiu fruit, and also looked at Yi Feng and said this casually. Bu Shuai, your suggestion is good. You are getting smarter and smarter now. The speaker may not mean it, but the listener will take it seriously. Yi Feng's eyes lit up when he heard Bu Shuai's idea, and then he praised Bu Shuai immediately. After all, he was worried about how to spend the 1,000 tianqiu trees. What do you mean this is the best suggestion? I was just kidding, you are not serious, are you? Seeing Yi Feng's excited expression, Bu Shuai was completely dumbfounded. He had never thought that Yi Feng even had the tianqiu tree in his hand. He even couldn't help but want to say to Yi Feng, that is the tianqiu tree, protected by the will of heaven. Is it a treasure that people can own? Too cruel. If young Master Yi really does this, I don't know if those people in the Black Turtle Palace can stand it. After all, this is really too wasteful. Snap. Thinking of this, Bu Shuai suddenly slapped himself, and then smiled bitterly. I am still worried about others. If young Master Yi really wants to do this, I can't stand it. No. I have helped my father to attack the Black Turtle Palace so much, so I can't bear this suffering alone. Thinking of this, Bu Shuai walked aside directly, then took out the sound transmission stone and contacted his father Butaixing. My dear son. Why did you contact me so quickly? Have you finished the first slaughter? After activating the sound transmission stone, Butaixing's excited voice first rang out from Bu Shuai's mind. Father. How can it be so fast? However, Yi Xiao and I will also rush to Shangue Palace soon, so you should hurry over as well, and it's best to use the designated space portal. After hearing Butaixing's words, Bu Shuai also explained. Bu Shuai, you guys go to slaughter Shangue Palace, why should I join in the fun? After hearing this, Butaixing also asked with a puzzled look on his face. Father. Have you ever eaten tianqiu fruit? Have you seen the tianqiu tree? And Yi Xiao has both the tianqiu fruit and the tianqiu tree. That's all, Father, you decide whether to go or not. After saying that, Bu Shuai cut off the connection of the sound transmission stone with a smirk on his face. On the other side. Did I hear it right? Bu Shuai's good brother actually has the tianqiu fruit and the tianqiu tree? Who is he? Looking at the unresponsive sound transmission stone, Butaixing also muttered to himself with a dull look. Old Bu. What happened? At this time, a middle-aged man in a black fairy robe standing aside saw Butaixing's strangeness at this time and hurriedly asked. Old Zhang. You came to me today, and I picked it up. Don't ask anything, just follow me, a great opportunity is waiting for us. Hearing the question from his old friend Zhang Baoshan, Butaixing also smiled mysteriously and said aloud. A great opportunity? I just came to you to reminisce about the past, and you are going to give me a great opportunity? Hearing Butaixing's words, Zhang Baoshan also showed a look of doubt. After all, based on his thousands of years of understanding of Butaixing, the credibility of what the other party said was only 10%. Fuck. What's that expression on your face? I'm telling the truth this time. If you don't believe me, you'll definitely regret it for the rest of your life. Seeing Zhang Baoshan's suspicious look, Butaixing hurriedly explained. Master Yi. The location where we are is a bit far from the Black Turtle Palace. Even if we use the 9th grade flying fairy weapon and travel at full speed, it will probably take a day and a night to get to the Black Turtle Palace. After coming out of the Tiandao battlefield, Bu Shuai immediately explained the situation. 1 day and a night? That's too long. In that case, let's just go there. Speaking of this, Yi Feng directly said to the system, System, let Yi come out and send the two of us directly to the Black Turtle Palace. Black Turtle Palace, outside the palace gate. Butaixing? Zhang Baoshan? What are you doing in my Black Turtle Palace? Looking at Butaixing and Zhang Baoshan standing opposite, Pan Yang also frowned and asked. After all, his relationship with the two opposite was not very good. Pan Yang. Don't be nervous, we came here just to pick up an opportunity and have fun. Noticing Pan Yang's serious expression, Butaixing also looked at him with a playful look and said. You came to the gate of the Black Turtle Palace to pick up opportunities? Are you kidding me? Do you really think I'm full of water? Hearing Butaixing's nonsense, Pan Yang's face darkened instantly. He felt that the other party was insulting his IQ. Huh. So lively. At this moment, a space crack suddenly appeared in the sight of the three people. Then, Yi Feng, who came out first, looked at the three people who were confronting each other and said in surprise. At the same time, Bu Shuai and Yi followed closely and walked out of the space crack. Swish. 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 When Yi came out, Butaixing, Zhang Baoshan and Pan Yang all looked at him, and there was a touch of horror in their eyes, because they sensed a terrifying breath on Yi that made them feel suffocated. Palace Master Pan. I don't want to say any more nonsense. Today I came to your Black Turtle Palace to buy the management rights of the 30 towns in the Heavenly Dao battlefield from you. And the price I pay is the things in this fairy ring. Just answer me whether you sell it or not. Yi Feng threw the fairy ring, containing 97,386 tianshou fruits, to Pan Yang. Chapter 560 Damn. Still using such tricks? Want to buy the management rights of the 30 towns in the Tiandao battlefield of my Shangue Palace? Are you crazy, or are you crazy? If it weren't for the terrifying golden armored warrior standing next to you, I would have thrown this fairy ring back to you. Hearing the deal proposed by Yi Feng, Pan Yang's eyes flashed with anger. After all, the towns controlled in the Tiandao battlefield are extremely concerned by every overlord-level force. It is no exaggeration to say that if you want to take away the management rights of the towns they control, it is to ask for their lives. Wait a minute. The densely packed fruits in this fairy ring are tianshou fruit? When Pan Yang released his spiritual sense and glanced at the things in the fairy ring, he was stunned for a moment, but when he reacted, he was so excited that he trembled all over. Although the management rights of the 30 towns in the Tiandao battlefield are extremely important, if you lose them, you can find a way to snatch them from others, even if you will suffer some suppression from other overlord-level forces. But if you miss this tianshou fruit, you will really miss it. Not to mention, there are more than 90,000 tianshou fruits in this fairy ring. Wait a minute, at this moment, Pan Yang suddenly thought of something, which instantly made him sober up from this joy. If he remembered correctly, Qing Tianqing had said before that he was eating tianshou fruit crazily, and the terrifying young master who wanted to use tianshou fruit to eat them to death would come to find him. This young master. Did a disciple and elder of my Shangue Palace offend you before? Thinking of this, Pan Yang also looked at Yi Feng and asked tentatively. You were talking about Qing Tianqing and Wang Dikun. They did offend me, and they have been killed by me. But don't worry, I won't bring my anger to your Shangue Palace. I came to you this time just to make this deal. Guessing what Pan Yang was worried about, Yi Feng also said with a smile on his face. Sell. Master, if that's the case, we will sell the management rights of the 30 towns. Pan Yang was relieved to know that Yi Feng did not bring his anger to their Black Turtle Palace, and then he looked at Yi Feng excitedly and told him his decision. Lao Bu, who is this master your son is following? What on earth was in the fairy ring he gave to Pan Yang that made Pan Yang make such a decisive decision, without even having to go back to the palace gate to discuss with many supreme elders? After all, selling the management rights of 30 towns is also a very important matter for the Shangue Palace. Zhang Baoshan, who saw this scene from the side, also asked Butaixing in a low voice, with a puzzled look on his face. Old Zhang. I don't know about this. But what I can tell you is that the mysterious young master is an extremely terrifying prodigal son, and he has all the good things in his hands. The legendary 3 top fairy flowers of ancient times. There are also Tianqiu fruit and Tianqiu tree. He has everything in his hands. You don't have to tell me that he can't have Tianqiu tree in his hands. If I say there is, there is. You can disbelieve it, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have it. Hearing Zhang Baoshan's inquiry, Butaixing also smiled and explained. Where are the people? Just after he finished speaking, Butaixing turned his head and looked at Zhang Baoshan, but found that Zhang Baoshan, who was supposed to be standing beside him, had already disappeared. Master. You must be tired of standing, sit down. This chair is made of double ice dragon jade, and you will feel extremely refreshed and comfortable when you sit on it. At this time, Zhang Baoshan had come to Yifeng, and then took out his treasured double ice dragon jade chair from the fairy ring. Don't mention it, this chair is really comfortable to sit on. Sitting on the double ice dragon jade chair, feeling the whole body enveloped by a comfortable cool air, Yifeng also revealed a touch of surprise, and then looked directly at Zhang Baoshan and said, I am not sitting on your chair for nothing. If you want any cultivation resources or natural treasures, just speak up. If you haven't thought about it yet, just tell me when you think about it. Young master. This is what I should do. However, I really can't think of what the most needed cultivation resources or natural treasures are. Please introduce them to me. Hearing Yifeng's words, Zhang Baoshan also revealed a touch of excitement, and thought to himself, Old Bu is really reliable this time. He actually gave me a great opportunity. Father. What's the matter with you? I asked you to come over, why did you bring Uncle Zhang here? It's okay to bring him here, but you have a bit of vision. At this time, Bu Shuai also came to Butaixing's side, and then complained with regret. Miscalculated. I miscalculated. I didn't expect Zhang Baoshan to be such a cunning bastard. Hearing Bu Shuai's complaints, Butaixing also explained with a wry smile, and thought to himself, others are always sons holding their father's back, but why is it the other way around for me? Palace Master Pan. Let me be frank, the management rights of the 30 towns I want are from the 1st to the 9th Tiandao battlefield. Don't think of using the management rights of the 30 towns in the 1st Tiandao battlefield to fool me. So, are you sure you want to sell it? At this time, Yifeng also told this situation, and then looked at Pan Yang and asked again. Sell. Hearing Yifeng's words, Pan Yang hesitated for a moment, but finally gritted his teeth and agreed. Okay. Since Lord Pan agreed, I will have someone come to talk to you about this in detail later. At this point, Yifeng also revealed a sly smile, and then looked at the excited Pan Yang and said, Lord Pan, I heard that you have more than 90,000 Tianqiu fruits in your hand, why don't you take them out, and then you guys have a fruit fighting competition. What the hell did you hear? Didn't you just trade it to me? Also, that's my Tianqiu fruit. Why do you want me to take it out for a bullshit fruit fighting competition? Hearing Yifeng's words, Pan Yang was completely stunned, and then said directly, Master, I don't want to take it. Before Pan Yang finished speaking, Yi appeared silently beside Pan Yang, and the golden sword in his hand was directly against the other's neck. My lord wants to see it. Do you dare to disagree? Then, Yi's cold voice rang in Pan Yang's ears. Fuck. You are so tricky? Is this something a human can do? After hearing what Yi said, especially seeing the playful smile on Yifeng's face, Pan Yang finally reacted, and then he broke down and cursed in his heart.